Go do my bidding.
You know, 80s robots aren't as scary as they made them seem in the 80s. He got stuck on the way, didn't he? You had to help him into the living room.
Shut up. My 80s robots are great little assassins.
They barely move. Half of them are like square boxes or tubes that move really slowly.
Meh. Go and prove Carey wrong, my little baby.
Can you keep it down in there? I'm watching a movie.
Welcome to a robotic episode of And Now Our Feature Presentation. I'm Josh Sanchez, robot expert.
And I'm Carey Williams, but I doubt those credentials.
Set in the near future where a police officer works in a unit that disarms rogue robots. He finds more than he expects when he uncovers a plot to make murder bots. This next film is
Runaway! Runaway was released December 14th in 1984 with a budget of $8 million. It opened with $1.2 million during its opening weekend and grossed $6.7 million.
So it did not do well.
Unfortunately,
it didn't
did
make
not.
its money back. The film was written and directed by Michael Crichton, who said he deliberately made it vague how far into the future the film was set. If you want my worldview, I think it's about a year ahead, he said.
Crichton said the film is not a cautionary tale about technology, but an updated police story with every police cliche turned a bit. This is a movie, at least in part, about the difference between people and machines. We tried very hard to keep perspective. Machines are so visually interesting that a lot of times they threaten to take over a film.
Yep. Crichton wanted to ensure that the film was visual and easy to follow. Movies are about the here and now and things you see. To me, there's no point in writing a highly cinematic book or doing a very literary movie. Over five science fiction films directed by Crichton, all of them had one-word titles: Pursuit in 1972, Westworld in 73, Coma 78, Looker 81, and Runaway in 84. The film marked the first feature acting role of rock star Gene Simmons. He had been in Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. Simmons had been interested in acting for a while and had studied it since 1981. He turned down a TV series which wanted to exploit his Kiss fame as well as parts in The Flashdance and Dr. Detroit because he wasn't interested in musicals or comedy.
I wanted to start out in something serious. I understand brooding characters more than I do splashy people. He was offered the part after meeting Crichton and did not have to read for it. I didn't see Luther as evil, Simmons said, but as deadly animal who kills when someone gets in his way. Crichton didn't want me to memorize the script or talk to my acting coach. His direction was, don't be afraid to try different things.
It's insane. Star Tom Selleck said of this movie's story around the time before the film was released in 1984, though it's set in the future, the film has a contemporary feeling. I suppose that's because the robots in it are technically advanced, but not that far that you read about in the papers almost daily. The robots in Runaway from 1984 are types which are likely to be seen in factories, offices, and homes within the next few years. And that's wishful thinking because, of course, none of these robots actually happen.
The on-camera relationship between Charles Luther, Gene Simmons, and Jack Ramsey, Tom Selleck, is one of intense emotion. While we're playing a scene, I hate his guts, Simmons said of Selleck, and added, I really want to kill him. It's funny. When I'm doing this stuff, it all wells up. I can't concentrate on giving somebody a certain look for an extended period of time without my temperature rising and my emotions starting to boil. Sometimes I would make up stuff about Tom, little things that would irritate me. And afterwards, I would go up to Tom and say, look, I don't know if I was too, and he'd interrupt me and say, no, don't explain anything. You're doing great.
It's awesome. It's awesome. I thought his portrayal in this movie was amazing. His first and probably only acting. But an assistant director came up to Gene Simmons during the location filming and said that one of the off-duty Vancouver police doing crowd control had pointed at Simmons and said, better get him out of here, upon being assured by the assistant director that he was one of the actors. The cop continued, I don't know. If I shook hands with him, I'd count on my fingers. That is nuts, man. The film accurately predicts domestic robots, video mail, social media, the internet, voice-activated computers, biometric security, retinal identification, camera drones, tablet PCs, wireless headsets, and that police officers would use semi-automatic pistols as sidearms. Because
fantasy spawns reality.
Yeah, in 1984, most of them had revolvers. Yeah, many of the promotional images for the film, most notably the poster, featuring Tom Selleck holding the rocket gun used by the villain Luther in the film, even though Ramsey never uses it during.
It happens a lot in promotion. They'll misrepresent.
I thought it was really cool. Mm-hmm.
We have a soundtrack score that was created entirely by Jerry Goldsmith. Runaway was the first purely electronic score for composer Jerry Goldsmith. And in order to give the synthesizers ambience, several speakers were set up in a theater and playback recorded. In the movie's opening theme music, as a nod to future technology, composer Jerry Goldsmith used the 5-note doorbell sequence from the cartoon The Jetsons.
That's insane.
It's cool.
Now let's talk about the cast. First up is Tom Selleck, of course, who plays Ramsey. He's in Magnum P.I. TV series, 3 Men and a Baby, Quigley Down Under. Oh, man, 3 Men and a Little Lady, folks. Mr. Baseball, in and out. And, of course, next up we have
Cynthia Rhodes, who plays Thompson. She's in the Toto Rosanna music video, Flashdance, Bee Gees, The Woman in You music video, Staying Alive, Dirty Dancing, Richard Marx, Don't Mean Nothing music video. Lots of music videos.
And then Gene Simmons, who plays Luther, who is the bass player for Kiss, Trick or Treat, Wanted Dead or Alive, and Detroit Rock City. And next up we have
Kirstie Alley, who plays Jackie. She's in Summer School, Cheers, the TV series. She's having a baby, Shoot to Kill, Loverboy, Look Who's Talking, Madhouse, Sibling Rivalry, Look Who's Talking 2, Look Who's Talking Now, Village of the Damned, It Takes Two, For Richer or Poorer, and Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Stan Shaw, who plays Marvin, is in the Monster Squad. We got the guys in the Harlem Nights, Fried Green Tomatoes, House Guest, Cutthroat Island, Daylight, and Snake Eyes.
You have G.W. Bailey, who plays the Chief. He's in Police Academy, Police Academy 2, Short Circuit, Mannequin, Police Academy 4, Richard Marx, Don't Mean Nothing music video, Police Academy 5, Police Academy 6,
and then Police Academy Mission to Moscow,
and Ace Ventura When Nature Calls.
I love this guy. And of course we have Joey Kramer, who plays Bobby. He's in Planet of the Apes, and he's Flight of the Navigator. Look at that. And then next we have
Chris Mulkey, who plays Johnson. He's in First Blood, 48 Hours, Dreamscape, Rain Man, Broken Arrow, The Fan, and Bulworth.
All right, and then let's talk about the press kit. Oh my gosh,
it's a pretty bland cover. It just has the name printed on here. I'll be honest, I don't know if this is the official.
I was hoping for
I don't know if this is the official folder or it's just how it came, but this is what we could obtain, and it does have some cool stuff in it. Starts off with like the TV spots that you would play. It's basically the taglines you'd say in the audio for promotion of it.
Cool.
And this is cool too.
That's awesome.
These are basically for the print ads because it leaves places for the trim and the bleed on them.
Wow.
Very cool. You have that size, for different, the smaller size ads, and then you have the larger size print ad one right there. We'll throw these up on screen for you, of course.
This is a TV guide. Full page bleed for the TV guide.
That is awesome.
That's exactly what this is.
It's a first for us having one of those. And then we have 2 picture packets. We have these smaller ones. These ones are of Tom Selleck.
Wow, I love these. Oh my gosh.
They're really cool. There's another one of Tom there. This is him and his...
Suited up.
He's suited up holding the baby that he has rescued.
Suited up.
This is actually pretty close to the climax of the movie here with him and Gene Simmons
Oh, that is
being
that's
attacked by the
end
spider
of the movie
bots.
right
and
there. He's
then
double checking.
Then we have Gene here with his special gun.
Oh yes, yep. He's got a hostage.
And then we have one full-size shot of Tom in his classic pose from the cover.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
We have a cool little shot of the logo right there.
Very nice.
We have the cast and credits. And then we have a synopsis and a log line.
I like these two because they have like a silver.
They're really cool. I've never. It's a very interesting press kit.
It's kind of hard. It might be hard to tell on the camera, but I guess if I move that, you can see that silvery print at the top. Both of these have that.
It's definitely a unique press kit compared to some of the other ones we've dealt with.
Yep. Now let's talk about the movie. Of course, I love the opening music. We just talked about that, Jerry Goldsmith, and the digital type of music.
Love it.
I love the intro. I love the circuits. Anything that had to do with circuits in the 80s and 90s and robots and computers, I just loved it. And of course, we go after the circuit intro. We go to the police station where Ramsey meets his new partner, and he gets his new partner who used to be a traffic cop,
which is a weird jump for positions.
Yeah, her name's Thompson, and they get called to a farm because he's part of the Runaway robot crew, and they go and chase down Runaway robots to deactivate them. And they take a helicopter ride, and we find that in this helicopter ride, she's looking out the window, but he's struggling because he does not like heights. He's like basically like looking down, sweating, and of course they land and the robot's in the field with corn, and Thompson goes out there and the guys are like, go do your job, and she goes over and she picks up this robot above her head, and it of course explodes with sparks and it falls down and starts fleeing, and they chase it to the cornfield, and they finally catch it and they take it, and they're covered in some soot and stuff. They wearing their goggles, and when they get back to the precinct, she finds out his backstory of like why he's in the Runaway group, and his one of the people in there is telling him like, a few years back he was chasing this bad guy, and this bad guy ran into this building and that was under construction, but he freaked out because he's afraid of heights, and he couldn't follow the guy, and the guy got away. And Thompson is like, well, there's nothing wrong with that. He's like, well, you don't understand. Later that night, that guy killed 6 people, a family up in Ridgemont. And
so it weighs on him.
So it weighs on him that he wasn't able to do that. So that's why he's in the Runaway group. That's why he left normal police officer work to be in the Runaway group. And so he gets called to this home, and there's a Runaway robot in this house. And it's like, the scene shows it's like the news crew is out there, and there's all these people gathered around, and there's spotlights, and the police are already there. They have it cordoned off, and he arrives, and he's like, what's going on? He's like, well, there's a baby inside the house. He's like, all right, so what's in the weapon? There's a kitchen knife, so what happened? It's like, well, the father was able to escape, but the mother and the daughter or whoever else are in there, they're dead. It's like the baby's left, and we don't know what's going on with this robot. And one of the things that, as a kid watching this, you don't fully grasp everything that's going on. Okay, there's a scenario, he's there, he's a cop, he's got to go disable it. But like, he's suiting up, and him suiting up in that like chainmail suit, and then like the padding, and then he's got that thing on his like almost like a little buckler shield, and he's got that laser. That to me was one of the coolest things I'd ever seen. I was like,
suiting up in movies is always awesome.
Like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And he's like, all right, he's got the chainmail, the laser gun. He goes into the house, and the cops are like, dude, you can't go. And like the thing that like kind of boggled my mind about this too, like watching it as an adult, is the camera guy follows him in. And like, to me, I was like, there is no way in today's
Was it the camera guy, or was it a drone camera?
Well, a drone camera.
That was the initial one.
A drone camera goes in, and they find out that the
robot
has a gun.
Are you right? He does just walk in behind him.
The robot has a gun and shoots the drone camera. And he goes in, and he's like, well, we can't have any radio communication because this robot is, of course, monitoring all communication. So like the news people are like, well, we're going to go in. He's like, turn the cameras off, whatever. So the camera guy goes in, follows him, and it just blew my mind. It's like, there is no way that this would be allowed today. No way that this guy
probably wouldn't have been allowed then. In all reality.
And he goes in, and of course the camera guy like almost immediately dies, the robot, and he goes in, and he's following him around, looking for the robot, and the robot shoots, and he ducks, and he under the bed and shoots the robot, kills the robot, and he rescues the baby and comes out. And as he's outside, there's an interaction with the dad. The dad runs off, and it's like, wow, this is really weird. The dad just like ran off.
Just
like,
leaves,
just
abandons the baby.
And so they go home, and this is where we find that, Ramsey has a robot of his own. It's Lois, and it's taking care of the house. He's got a son, and this robot is taking care of his son while he's not there because his wife is passed, so he's gone.
I get a kick out of Lois for sure.
It's great. And
he's like, better listen to Lois.
And so they find out that this robot that has gone run away was basically it had a modified chip. And so they're like trying to figure out, and I love the 3D graphics, and they're trying to figure out what the chip is doing, and the chip explodes. It has like self-destruct.
It starts smoking.
Yes, and it's one of those like, I loved that. And so they get called to a construction site, and I love this in all these 80s movies. There's always a construction site.
Always. 80s movies and video games.
It's one of those things like, in order to stop crime, just you really should shut down those construction sites. And so they go to the construction site, and there's a runaway loader, and she's afraid of heights, of course. So his partner goes up and basically disables the robot. And this is where they go back to the house after this, because they're trying to show that he's afraid of heights. They go back to the house, and he is looking through the footage, and that's where they find footage of Luther, who's the bad guy.
He comes up to the security camera.
And
it's basically like a Ring doorbell of that era.
They're trying to figure out what's going on. And so Luther obtains chips later on. And he's one of the co-workers of the person whose house it is. So he's starting to kind of put everything together. And so he's trying to find where these chips are. And he's like, what is it? He gives Harry a suitcase full of fake money at the lab because he's trying to get more chips. He's like, I signed these chips. I want to sell these chips. And that's when we see the spider bot appear, one of these spider bots, and it kills of course, one of his partners. And we jump back to, of course, Tom Selleck. He's doing his investigation. They find the father. He's in this apartment. And this is a thing that just blew my mind as an adult. They go to they go to the apartment. They knock on the door to go in to get this guy because they want to take him in for questioning. And this guy has a gun and he shoots through the door. And I'm like, this guy just shot through the door. And they're so calm, cool,
right.
And collect. They just kind of break down the door and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were the cops." He's like, "Well, come with us." And this just blew my mind. I was like, why did they not just tackle this guy?
Opening fire on them.
So they take him out, and of course, as he goes out, he sees Luther across the way, and he bolts because he's like, "Oh man, this guy's after me." And this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in a movie. He has this gun. It's the gun that you see here on all of this.
Even though it's not
Tom's gun, he's pictured with it. But that's Luther's gun, and it has these heat-seeking missiles. So he shoots, and it is following him in the alleyway. And of course, now it's cheesy because it's like a camera with the wide-angle lens, and it's.
But then it was neat.
Sped up. But this was it's a heat-seeking bullet, and this movie came out in the 80s, and so it's this heat-seeking bullet, and of course. The first one missed, he shoots. The next one hits the guy, he dies, and then the rest of the cops come, and they take the bullet, they take it back to the lab, and they're looking. I guess they're basically dissecting it, and they're trying to figure out, okay, what is this? And this is a heat-seeking bullet. Then they get another call that at the office where this guy was working, one of the robots there has gone haywire, and this is where we meet Kirstie Alley's character. And there's this it's basically like a
tasering at her. It's like
glorified,
shocking,
trash can that looks like a copy machine as well, and it's tasing her, and she can't get away from it. And what's funny is the security guard who's in there is like, we got a runaway robot, and he's like, well, it's set on the lowest setting. It's like. Well, just go over there and kick the thing down. And it's so funny. And, of course, Tom Selleck goes. He disarms the robot.
He throws his jacket over it and then hits it with a chair.
He gets shocked, and he's like, "Oh, man, this sucks." And he, throws the jacket. He hits it with the chair. And, of course, and he rescues her. And as they're taking her out, she has, a briefcase or something. And it spills open, and we see all the chips. So they're like, okay, there's something. Because she wants to leave quickly. There's something going on. And so she tells Ramsey that it's Luther made her do all this stuff, or she'd get killed. So she basically spills the beans. He's trying to do this meetup with some high-end clients at the hotel, and they go to the hotel and they're like staking it out. They're getting ready to rush in, and so Tom Selleck, he goes in with his partner, and as they rush in, Luther's in there doing the deal with some buyers for some high-tech stuff, and he basically has one of those drones that gasses the room, and he makes an escape. Tom Selleck runs after him. There's a helicopter waiting on the roof, and while all this is ensuing, he uses the gun, the missile gun, and shoots some of the people, and of course a bunch of them die, and his partner gets hit in the arm. Tom Selleck is running after him on the roof. He gets away on the helicopter, comes back down, and he sees that they're getting ready to try to
remove the projectile.
And he's like, no, you don't understand. This is not just this is gonna explode. This is like high tech.
It's basically a tiny missile.
And it's crazy to me that like, okay, he's in the Runaway unit, but he also knows how to disable a bomb and take a bullet out. I guess he does. He's
bomb.
The star. So like he goes and he tells everyone, and this is like a foretelling too of like what's like going on. There's like the news camera there, like he's mad. Get these cameras out of here. And of course there aren't news cameras everywhere, but in this day and age, everyone has a cell phone. Everyone is putting stuff on TikTok. Social media is rampant. Like, you know, their fight breaks out in school. Kids have their phones. They're filming it to try to get. And I think this is kind of like a foretelling of that, of like how crazy media it will be in the future. And of course, he gets the bullet out and explodes, and she goes to the hospital. And then Marvin inspects the heat-seeking bullet, and he's like, basically, it's programmed to basically kill anybody because of their
specific heat pattern.
And it's so cool, the tech on the screen. I love this as a kid because he's dissecting this missile, and like
it's split in half.
It's split in half, and you see the thing, and it's like it's a specific. And then of course Ramsey comes in. He's like, look, like we're gonna try to bring a psychic in and do all this stuff, and they're looking for Luther, and Luther basically calls him at the station.
Yes.
And he's like,
you can see him.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I see you're looking at the monitor. Oh, you're lifting up your hand. You're looking around. So he's got a feed of the CCTV, all the closed circuit. He got into their network, and he's seeing them. So he's like, all right, he wants the chips. He wants the girl. Let's try to get her to a secure location. So they end up scanning her to see if she has any bugs. And it's this scanner. It's a really cool looking scanner thing. And she has like, I don't know. I mean,
I think she has four
of them on
something
her,
like
and
that. They keep. She's like, I don't have any bugs. Then,
and she's basically almost naked by the time they like find all the bugs, and then they take her and they're escorting her in these two police cars, and his partner Thompson is in one car, and he's in another car that's an automated driving car. And the reason why they did this is because later on when they're in the chase, she has like a laser thing that's shooting, and it's the coolest thing because the chase is going. And they're like, well, how is he following us? She must still have another bug on her. So they're like trying to determine what's going on.
She sat her purse on the table instead of taking it into the scanner.
And so they're like trying to figure out, okay, what's going on? How are they following her? And they're sending these little drones. And it's I mean, for the time, it's amazing. It's like all these I was in awe at this movie. And so they end up having to, of course, transfer from vehicle to vehicle.
You have to. You got to transfer from vehicle to vehicle in the 80s when there's a car chase.
I love this part because the voice that's like the computer voice, it says something like, you're in serious trouble. You are in extreme danger. Conditions are dangerous. Conditions are hopeless is what the robots. And I'm like cackling at this as an adult. And of course they get away. They find out it's a purse. They toss the purse, and all the little drones go to the purse, and the purse explodes. So they go to meet Luther at this outdoor sushi restaurant.
That's cool.
And that's just
it's
like
automated sushi maker.
Sushi maker. And this whole scene to me was just kind of like comical. I was like, what are they doing? And Luther has Thompson because he got her hostage at the hospital. And he's like, I want the chips for the whatever. And they do this swap. But he doesn't give her all of the stuff. He ends.
She rips it in half and gives him half of it.
Yes, and he ends up killing his girlfriend.
Stabs her in the back of the head,
which is that's psychotic. Yes. That is psychotic. Yes. It is insane. And of course, back at the hospital, you see the other police officers that are there protecting Thompson. They you see more of the spiders is basically what it is. There's one in the bathroom and it explodes.
She finds the tracking device in the bathroom stall.
So many different spiders because they're looking for him and he's back at the hospital. And of course Sally gets killed, the spider bot in the neck explodes, and then Luther poses an officer to get to the station to get to Ramsey, and that's when they find that he's looking for his info on the screen. So he sees his address. He's like, oh my gosh, my son. Yes. So he goes to his son, and that's where they find Lois, the robot, has been basically destroyed.
She's
and
tipped over, man.
Yeah, and so he's trying to get information, like where was he? Where does he want to meet? And so he tells her it's the construction site. So they go to the construction site, and he says, I got to go alone because that's the deal. Don't follow me. And so he doesn't tell her. He doesn't tell her, but she gets there and she puts it together by trying to fix Lois.
She gets it from Lois.
Fix Lois. And so he goes to this construction site, and you have to watch this because he's afraid of heights. He gets on this elevator. There are spiders everywhere, shooting acid.
Oh, the acid shooting.
Oh my gosh! And the whole scene is crazy. And he gets on the elevator. He rescues his son. Thompson gets there. Thompson gets the kid away. And basically, Luther gets done in by his own creations. Yep. Because Tom Selleck is able to escape. He trips up Luther. Luther falls down. All the robots at the bottom floor get him. And he swarms. And he goes and he's walking away. And of course, it's the classic, the villain is still alive. But he really isn't because everything blows up. Yes. And then the sparks are everywhere. And this is where it ends with the raining sparks and the two of them kissing. This is something I love this movie, and I would have loved to have seen or been a part of some kind of training program to be able to defeat 80s robots.
There's got to be an easier way to stop some of these things.
Yes.
You are here because you are the best the PD has to offer in terms of work ethic, reflexes, investigative prowess, and marksmanship. In this cadre, you will be trained in the proper tactics, maneuvers, and logistical ways to deal with runaway robots. These 4 menacing trainers will accelerate your learning experience in the real-world robot disarmament, disablement, deactivation, neutralization. Here, we have the RB4000.
What's the RB stand for?
Rubbish bin.
Oh, because it's a garbage can.
No, it's more sophisticated than that. Here we have the SB6.
What's the SB stand for?
Spider bot.
Oh, and the 6 because it's got 6 legs.
No, it's got 6 autonomous mobile appendages.
Legs.
No, it's more sophisticated than that.
It's just a more sophisticated way of saying legs.
All right, damn it, it's legs. Here we have the TCBB Recyclinator.
The cardboard box.
No, it's more sophisticated than that.
All right, then what's the acronym?
All right, damn it, it's a cardboard box.
No, it's more sophisticated than that.
And here we have the POW Extreme Decimator.
It's a pole on wheels.
No, it's more sophisticated than that. But that is the acronym. All right, I need a volunteer to see who can outmaneuver, outwit, out-harangue. All right, Mr. Smarty Pants. Gonna take on all 4 of these menacing robots at the same time. Let me see what you got. How in the God-given name in all of this martial arts, trainee, that was the craziest, insanest, most diabolical example of anti-robotic disarmament I have ever witnessed.
I just pushed them over. It's not that hard. How are you gonna do it?
It was more sophisticated than that.
Oh man, this movie, that was amazing, by the way. But this movie, as a kid, I loved this movie, and it blew my mind. All the tech, all of the robots. I never knew the plot as a kid. I always thought from the beginning it was Gene Simmons kidnapped this kid, and the entire time he was trying to get his kid back. But then as I watched it as an adult, it made more sense. I was like, oh, he's a tech guy. He's trying to sell these chips that make these robots go crazy, and he's trying to get back at him because he's hindering him. he goes and kidnaps his son because he wants the rest of the plans. As an adult, I understood the story
Right.
plot.
Some
But
of
as
those nuances were lost on you as a child.
As a kid, I was always like, man, this guy, he's kidnapped his kid. It's at the very end, but I was like, he kidnapped his kid, and that's why he's after him. But no, that's not what it is at all. And this was your first watch, so right?
This was, and it's got a lot of wonderful '80s tropes in it, and I didn't know what to expect. Like I said, because I went into it never seeing any of it. You had some memories from childhood, even though you had to have some refresher and some stuff you didn't notice as a kid. But this was a first watch for me, and it's got some it's got really cool '80s robot action scenes, and I love people fighting '80s robots.
Yep, and I gotta say, Ramsey was my favorite character in this thing.
I gotta agree with you. He's the guy to go to.
Tom Selleck, he's the actor. I love Gene Simmons in it, but Tom Selleck definitely makes the movie.
Gene Simmons is okay, but after a while, I hate the look. I hate the downward
look,
like I look up.
Yeah.
That's why it's like I have to go with Tom on it. Like Gene does well, but like Tom definitely is the one that stands out above them.
Yep. All right, let's talk about some of these props. Of course, we got lots of spider bots everywhere. They are climbing all over the set. We got to beware because
hopefully they don't stab us in the neck and explode and spit acid on us
to kill us and then explode.
I mean, you got to make sure the job gets done.
Oh my gosh! And of course we have Runaway.
I love
there's
the
another
sign.
one down there. They're everywhere.
everywhere.
Oh my gosh!
Gene Simmons was, he was tenacious. He's sending these things to get people.
Of course, we got the VHS tape and the DVD here.
It's not available on Blu-ray yet in the United States.
Yep. And love all the posters. And we just want to thank you so much again for watching another episode of a Now and Future presentation. I'm Josh Sanchez, and this is
Carey Williams.
We don't just love 80s and 90s movies.
We live them.